Hi everybody, it's your gaming buddy Linnea here, and I will be taking you with me to the archives. So let's see what this is all about. Welcome to the archives. Bendy and the Ink Machine began when the developer slash cartoonist known as themeatly experimented with bringing a sketch 2D style into a 3D world. After turning the idea into a horror game, chapter 1 of the game was created in a little under a week, with programmer slash friend Mike Desjardins and released on February 10th of 2017. Much to their surprise, it struck a chord with the global indie gamers almost overnight. Dimitri and Mike decided to drop all other projects to work on Bendy and tell a most unique ink story. The entire game was made by a dedicated group of indie developers. In this archive, we'll have a sneak peek behind the scenes, so let's see how the prototypes look. Because this one already looks a bit more towards the creepier side, which is concept Bendy. This is the first version of Bendy ever modeled. In the earliest concept, Bendy was much smaller and cuter, with a face that could open, so as you could see that. So let's see which one this is. Alpha Bendy. This is the original game used design of Ink Bendy from the earliest version of Chapter 1. It's jokingly referred as the bird poop, so that's kind of funny. Let's see, Beta Bendy? This was Ink Bendy's form until the release of Chapter 4. At that time, this game received a major visual upgrade, which you can see obviously. So this is another Ink Bendy as we know him today, which is correct. And you can definitely see the different because the ink is now dripping. Beast Bendy, Ink Bendy's horrific final form in Chapter 5 pulled away the cartoon version. Yes, I can see that. Let's see what else we have. We have the Beta Searcher. Okay, that looks so much different than the original one does. Yes. I hope you guys can read it. If you can't, I will gladly remake this one. The Final Searcher. Yes. To be honest, I do like this final version better, but it's in the eye of the beholder, as I would say. Beta Sammy. You can actually see there's no real definition between like where the torso would be or where the rump or torso rump are the same, or the legs. And there we have Final Sammy, and now you can definitely see like more definition. He has more muscle, and I think that was actually a better choice. So right here, we have the Butcher Gang. We all know that. So yes, I actually don't know how they would have looked if they didn't look like this. So that's still like, maybe I will see it when I finish the second game again. So right here we have like Allison, Boris, or aka Tom, because you can see. Oh no, you can't, but I think that's Tom and that's not Boris, because Boris will be here. Beta Boris, as we will see in Chapter 1, because that's just the one that is displayed in the very first chapter of the game. But the original name was Papa, so kind of uniquely how it changed from Papa to Boris. It's actually really nice to see how it changed. And of course, they redefined Boris in Chapter 2. So, yeah. I don't think Boris looks too bad here, but yeah. When the game changed, obviously some designs had to be changed too. So let's see. Right here we have Boris the Wolf as we know him and as we came to love him. To be honest, Boris is actually one of my favorite characters besides Bendy. He's just so cute, and even though it's a wolf, I would absolutely love to hug him. If I would ever get trapped in a video game and will be with that Boris, I know I will be fine. And Brute Boris, of course. Alice Angel's Monstrosity Brute Boris. I know I butchered that pronunciation, so sorry. And then right here we have the ink machine, of course. The original ink machine, which is actually seen in the game. Yes, it's actually the one that they use mostly in the game. From what I can gather from this, like, sign that stands there. I'm actually quite surprised. I'm so sorry. That when I was looking at like Tom, Allison, and Susie, aka Alice Angel, that there were no signs in front of them. So I hope if they have an archive in the second one, and I know they have, if I'm not mistaken, I will have to replay the game again. It is odd, like Henry Stein is not even there. Not sure if it's bug in the game, so I will just have to figure it out again. And yeah, then we have had everything, I think. Yeah. But like I said, it's so strange that like three main characters in the game, especially from chapter 3 and so on, that you don't have like signs there. That's just so weird. And then of course that face in chapter 4. Also, if you have not played the game or you have not seen it, please don't consider this as a spoiler, because I'm just stating what I'm seeing here. And yes, it was the whole archives. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see a bit more in-depth version of the archives, please let me know, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!